This lesson, we're going to talk about distance and midpoint formula and a little bit of understanding the rectangular coordinate system. So you will see the graph right here. This is the sample of rectangular coordinate system where you have x-axis and y-axis. It gives you, with those two axes, 4 different areas, right? The first area, we call that quadrant 1, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. And we have origin right here is going to be 0, 0. X is going to be 0, y will be 0. The first quadrant, your x and y value is going to be all positive. So let me see, this is going to be all positive. X positive, Y positive. You always put X and Y order, right? Second quadrant, you're going to have X negative, Y positive. Third quadrant, you're going to have X and Y negative. Fourth quadrant, you're going to have X positive, but Y negative. You have a distance formula to remember, and this is your formulas. So if you have 2 points given, 2 points, we call point 1, which is x1, y1, point 2, x2, y2. If this point 2 point is given, you're going to use this formula right here. And midpoint formulas, if 2 point is given again, right? Point 1, point 2, then you're going to use this formula to find the midpoint. So basically, you just need to remember the formula to find the distance and midpoint. The first example I wanted to do is making sure we understand how to plot the point, right? So I'm going to graph y-axis and x-axis and see if you can plot the points. The first one is asking you to plug in -3 with 5. That's going to be finding -3 on the side and 5 going up and down. So it will be -3. From the origin, negative number is going left. Positive 5 means going up. So the points that cross that two line will be point A. -3, positive 5. B is going to be positive 5. So from the origin, you're going to move right 5. And 0 means you're not going up and down. So it will be that point right there. That's going to be B. C is saying that -5 and -3, -5. So first number is always moving side directions. If it's negative left, positive on the right, right? So -5, then going down 3 from -5, right? So it will be this point right there. That will be C. So making sure we know how to plot the points, because the big portion of pre-calculus or college algebra is about graphing. So we need to make sure we know how to plot the points in order to graph. This is very basic information. Next example, finding a distance between 2 points. So 2 points is given right here. we will say the first point carries x1 and y1. Second point carries x2 and y2. So then, what was the distance formula again? Distance is equals to square root of x squared minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, right? So when we plug in that number into your formula, your x2 is 5, x1 is 1, plus y2 is 6, y1 is 3. Once you replace all the numbers, then simplify it. 5 minus 1 is 4 squared, so it will be 16. 6 minus 3 is 3 squared, will be 9. Add them up, will be 25. Square root of 25 is 5. So your distance between these 2 points is going to be 5. If we wanted to do one more just like that, let me try one more. And this one have negative numbers, so make sure. Using the formula, you will see the formula right here again, right? So x2, 3, x1 will be negative 4. So minus negative 4 means adding 4. And 2 is y2 minus y1 square. That gives you 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 square will be 49. 2 minus 3 is negative 3. Square will be positive 9. Which gives you square root of 58. This cannot be simplified, so that's your distance. Example 4, consider the 3 points. So 3 points is given. Point A, B, and C. Plot each point and form the triangle ABC. So I guess these 3 points will give you a triangle. Let's see if we can do that. That's going to be A. And point A is negative 2 and positive 1. That's the first point. Point 2 is positive 2 and 3. Point C is, so that's A, C, and B. C is going to be 3 and 1. And when you graph, draw the straight line between that 3 points. That's your triangle, right? That's what they want you to do on A. B, find the length of each side of triangle. Finding a length means finding a distance between the points. And we just did finding a distance. So we should be able to do this. No problem, right? So using between A and B, this is going to be x2, y2. This is going to be x1, y1. So we'll give you 2 plus 2 square plus 3 minus 1 square. Gives you 16 plus 4, which is 20. That gives you 2 square root of 5. If I wanted to find distance between B and C, then we're going to use this as x1, y1, this as x2, y2, right? So then I will have 3 minus 2 square plus 1 minus 3 square. I get 1 square is 1. 2, negative 2 square is 4. So that's square root of 5. If I do between A and C now, right? So let me see. Between A and B, I have 2 square root of 5. BC, I have square root of 5. And if I wanted to find AC, I will use this. Let me use the square, this, and C, right? Then I will have square root of 3 minus negative 2 square plus 1 minus 1 square. Gives you, that will be 1 square. Oh, will be negative, minus negative 2, so we'll be adding. So it will be 5 squared, 25. And 1 minus 1 is 0, right? This is 0. 0 squared is 0, so you're adding 0, nothing, which gives you 5. So this distance will be 5. Right? So I find all the distance. The C is asking you to find or show that the triangle is a right triangle. What happens if we have right triangle? What do we know about having a right triangle? If we have right triangle, your hypotenuse and 2 sides. If we have C squared plus C squared will be equals to A squared plus B squared, and this is Pythagorean theorem, right? When you have right triangle, the longest the length, which is hypotenuse, should be square of hypotenuse should be equals to addition of 2 sides square, right? So that's the formula we already know from Pythagorean theorems. If we try that, because we know all the things, we can figure this out. So C, hypotenuse, the longest length will be 5. AB, don't matter which one, so just use 2 square root of 5 square plus square root of 5 square. It should come up with 25, right? Let's see, that will be 2 square will be 4 times 5, and that's 5, which is 4 times 5 is 20 plus 5, that is 25. So this means that satisfies Pythagorean theorems. So it means, yes, this is going to be right triangle, right? What about D? What is D is asking you to do? Find the area of the triangle. So area of the triangle, we need to use the formulas. We have area of the triangle is equals to 1/2 times base times height. So let's see. We can replace this 1/2. Your base is going to be, you can use this as base and that's as heights, right? So let me mark it. This is base, this is height. So then you will do 2 square root of 5 times square root of 5, watch these two cancel out. And you have square root of 5 times square root of 5, which is going to be 5. So your area is going to be 5. Let's do one last example from these sessions, finding a midpoint. So finding a midpoint, don't forget your formula was adding all the x and divide by 2 and add y value, that's 1, over divide by 2. So this problem, you have 0.1, 0.2, which is x1, y1, x2, y2. Replace it, your midpoint, the points between exact middle points between these 2 points is going to be -4 plus 3 over 2 and 5 plus 2 over 2, which gives you -1/2 and 7 over 2. You can leave it as the fraction form, or you can answer with decimal form. 2 goes into 7 3 times, so it'll be 3.5. So remember, finding midpoint, your midpoint solutions, formulas. Finding area, finding distance, don't forget the distance formulas.